So, let's start our story in Tibet, literally the roof of the world. And right there, walking all alone, is a nun named Annie Riung. She's homeless, but that's her choice. See, she's on this incredible journey to find spiritual traditions that are, well, they're on the brink of disappearing forever.
I mean, that just says it all, right? I'd rather be walking than sitting down. She's not just aimlessly wandering. Nope. Annie is actively searching for something. She's basically traded the comfort and structure of her convent for the total uncertainty of the road, all because she has this incredibly deep sense of purpose.
So that begs the question, right? What could a homeless nun possibly be looking for, all the way up there on the roof of the world? I'll tell you this much, it's not shelter, it's not comfort. She is chasing something way more elusive, something ancient, something powerful that she believes is just being swallowed up by the modern world. Okay, so here's her mission. She needs to find a legendary, almost hidden convent named Gebchak, and once there, she hopes to unlock the secrets of a really ancient teaching called the Yoga of Magic Heat. I mean, with a name like that, you know this is going to be something special. This is way more than just a trip. It's a full-on spiritual quest.
All right, so how does she even begin to navigate a journey like this? Well, to get where she's going, you have to understand the map she's using. And it's not made of paper. It's a sacred, almost mythological map that's literally imprinted onto the landscape of Tibet itself.
You see, there's this ancient legend, a foundational story really. It says that the entire land of Tibet is actually the body of a giant, colossal demoness. And all the suffering in the world, it comes from her untamed, raw energy. It's such a powerful metaphor, right? For the wildness of nature, but also for the wild, untamed parts of our own minds.
So, how do you tame a force like that? Well, about 1,500 years ago, a king had an idea. He built a series of temples right on her vital points, her heart, her shoulders, her limbs, basically pinning her down. And ever since, pilgrims just like Annie have been walking this sacred path, believing that their journey, their meditation, helps to contain that wild energy and bring peace to the world.
Okay, but that brings up a big question. If the center Tibetan Buddhism is so important, why did Annie leave it? Well, the simple answer is her world was changing, and fast. You see, Annie feels that Lassa, which used to be this vibrant spiritual hub, has turned into something like a museum. The old freedom for nuns to just go out and wander on pilgrimages, gone. For her, the convents that were once famous for these incredibly powerful female yoginis now just felt restrictive. Her words, not mine. It was like suffocating in a henhouse.
And on top of that, there were these immense practical pressures. A new rule came down that required all nuns to get a diploma in Chinese. Now, for an older nun like Annie, trying to learn a whole new language, it was basically an impossible hurdle. It was the thing that effectively pushed her out of the only life she'd ever known.
But there was a glimmer of hope. People were talking about the eastern regions, places called Kham and Amdo. Apparently, a kind of Buddhist revival was happening out there. There was more freedom, a real chance to study and practice the old ways. And so, that's where she set her sights. That's where she headed.
Of course, a journey like this is never, ever easy. And Annie, well, she was about to face some incredible obstacles that would test her resolve at pretty much every turn.
So her first big stop was this town called Yaren. She was so hopeful she was going to meet a grandmaster to finally ask about the Yoga of Magic Heat, but she was too late. The master had passed away just a few weeks before she got there. Imagine that feeling. She was just crushed, totally discouraged, and filled with doubt.
She didn't give up, though. She managed to get a meeting with another living master. But his advice? Was just crushing. He told her to stop running after fairy tales. He said she should go back to Lhasa, shave her head, and just go meditate on a cushion. For her, it really must have felt like the end of the road.
But then, just when all hope seemed lost, the master must have seen something in her. He saw her sheer determination, and so he gave her the one single clue she desperately needed. He told her, if you're really determined, go to Gebchak. He said it's the only convent left in all of Tibet that still upholds these teachings, and he even told her where to find it, right on the head of the Demoness.
So after weeks and weeks of more travel, we're talking nearly 2,000 kilometers by truck and on foot, Annie finally arrived. And what she found there at Gebchak was, well, it was even more incredible than anything she could have possibly imagined. Gebchak is just this community of unbelievable resilience.
The nuns there, they meditate in caves that they've literally dug into the side of a frozen mountain. They're completely self-sufficient. They rely on a herd of yaks for everything. Milk, butter, and get this, even their fuel comes from yak dung. And the teachings? They're passed down directly from sister to sister. No lamas needed.
And this is how they prove they've mastered the yoga of magic heat. It's insane. The nuns have to go out into the biting, freezing cold, wearing nothing but a simple, thin cotton sheet. Then they soak that sheet in icy water and have to dry it completely, 4 times in a row, using only the heat from their own bodies. I mean, it's an almost superhuman feat of mind over matter.
So why do all this? What's the ultimate goal? It's to achieve what's known as the body of light. This is the belief that with total mastery, when you die, your physical body doesn't decay. Instead, it just dissolves into a rainbow of light. You basically become immortal, so you can better help all living beings. It's an incredible concept. And you have to understand, this isn't just some dusty old legend. It is a living, breathing tradition. The most gifted nun at the entire convent, the one who inherited these teachings directly from a master who actually achieved the body of light, is 96 years old.
So after this incredible physical journey, after finding what she was looking for, Annie had a final, profound realization. The real pilgrimage, it wasn't the one she took with her feet.
And this quote from her just hits so hard. I've chased dreams and fled from demons without realizing they've been inside of me all this time. It just reveals the true heart of her journey, doesn't it? The search for masters, running from new rules, chasing after this hidden convent, it was all just a reflection of her own inner struggle. The demons she was so desperately trying to escape were inside of her the whole time.
And that brings us right back to where we started. That massive demoness stretched out across the landscape of Tibet. It isn't just a story about the land, it's a metaphor. It represents the untamed, chaotic, and really powerful energies that exist inside every single one of us. So taming the demoness really means taming yourself. And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with. Annie walked thousands of kilometers to find her answer, only to discover that the real journey was always an inward one. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? Maybe the greatest, most important pilgrimage any of us can ever take isn't across a landscape, but deep within ourselves.